Shabbat Shalom. I still can't believe we're already at yet another Shabbat. We breathe. Not always so easy. And as we've heard many times, I'm sure the word for our soul is nishama, and for breathing, breath is nishima, and they're connected. And our souls, our breath is connected. And as we take a moment to breathe in, out, we get ready. Just take a moment to think about one thing that you're so grateful for on this Shabbat morning. Page 99. Neshama, Shenatata bi, Shenatata bi, Elohai. Neshama, Shenatata bi, Shenatata bi, Tehorai, you created me, you shaped me, you breathed me into life. You created me, you shaped me, you breathed me into life. Elohai Neshama, Shenatata bi, Shenatata bi, Elohai Neshama, Shenatata bi, Shenatata bi, Tehorai, Tehorai. You created me, you shaped me, you breathed me into life. You created me, you shaped me, you breathed me into life. Elohai Neshama, Shenatata bi, Shenatata bi, Elohai Neshama, Shenatata bi. Page 140. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Bring some harmonies. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. El Bikocho, hallelujah, Kia Uso, hallelujah, El Bikocho, hallelujah. Page 141. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Big Vorota, hallelujah, low, hallelujah, big Vorota, hallelujah, low, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Take a shofar, hallelujah. We turn to page 143. We rise. Ozi v'zimratya. Ozi v'zimratya. Vayehi li lishua. Ozi v'zimratya. Vayehi li lishua. Ozi v'zimratya. Vayehi li lishua. V'zimratya. Vayehi li lishua. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed.
Thank you, Hazan Mimi, for helping us to breathe, to get ready for the sanctity of Shabbat, the holiness of our souls. The words of the prayer, the song actually, Shirat Hayam, that Hazan Mimi just sang for us. So two of the lines are, your right hand, Adonai, singular in strength. Your right hand, Adonai, shatters the enemy. Very anthropomorphic image of God. And it's interesting that right side is always the side of strength, right? Most people by nature right-handed, left was the exception. Some of you may know that left, Latin sinistre, the origins of the word sinister, left-handed. But the idea that God's right hand is the side of strength is really important, because we actually, when it comes to images of compassion and of justice, right, those two elements, the rabbis talk about in terms of God and in terms of the Sfirot and Kabbalah, that din, the attempt for justice, and those qualities of justice are actually on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side are the elements of rachamim and chesed, compassion, loving kindness. Why is that an important image? Because as we seek to create justice in the world, we imagine the left hand, and yet the compassion is with the right. It should be a stronger hand. As we push towards justice and we strive for there to be in the world all the things we need of a lawful society, there's also this image of compassion and bringing people close to us And that stronger side is one of compassion and chesed. It's a mystical tradition that's very prominent. The words of the Baruch Hu now, as we transition to the Shachrit service, are a reminder of the importance of community, the sharing together. Without all of you on this live stream, we would not be a minyan. And so you're going to be able to find the words of the Baruch Hu as you rise together, page 149.
Lai 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 ya la lai lai la lai lai ya la lai lai ya la lai lai la lai Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach le'olam va'ed Baruch Adonai Hamevorach le'olam va'ed Ya lai 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 la 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 lai lai Ya la lai lai la 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 lai Sing along, ya la lai lai, ya la la lai, ya la lai lai, la 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 lai, lai lai lai, la la lai, lai lai la la lai, ya la lai lai, la 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 lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech haolam Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech haolam Yotzer or u'borei choshech Oseh shalom shalom u'borei et hakol Yotzer or u'borei choshech Oseh shalom shalom u'borei et hakol.
Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue our service now on page 153 with Or Chadash.
Yallay lay 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 lay, yallay lay 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 lay, yallay lay 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 lay, yallay lay 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 lay. Oh, Or Chadash al Zion ta'ir, v'nizkechu lanu meheira le'oro. Sing that with me. Oh, Or Chadash al Zion ta'ir, v'nizkechu lanu meheira le'oro. Or Chadash al Zion ta'ir, v'nizkechu lanu meheira le'oro. Meheira le'oro, ay, 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMeorot.
We continue on page 154 with Ahava Rabbah as we get closer to saying the Shema.
Ahava Rabbah Tanu Adonai Eloheinu Chemla Gidola Vitera Amalta Aleinu Avinu Malkeinu Ba'avur Avoteinu שבטחו בך, שבטחו בך, אבינו מלכנו. ותלמדם חוקי חיים, כן תכוננו תלמדנו, אבינו האב הרחמן, המרחם רחם עלינו, ותן בליבנו להבין ולהשכיל לשמוע, ללמוד וללמד, לשמור ולעשות, ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה, והאר עינינו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבינו לאהבה וליראה את שמך, ולא נעבוד לעולם ועד, ולא נבוש לעולם ועד, כי בשם קודשך הגדול והנורא בטחנו, נגילה ונשמחה, נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך.
We know that a central theme of the Shema is love, right? If you're following along in the Siddur with us, look down. This Ahava Rabbah that we're in the middle of right now is called God's great love. That's how it's translated here. And then soon we'll recite the Shema with its first paragraph starting with Ve'ahavta, and you shall love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And it's sort of an odd thing to command us to love, right? It's a thought, it's a feeling, it's not an action. How can we command anyone to love? But the way that we think about it is really in terms of brit, which means covenant. Every time we say the Shema, we are continuing to renew that covenant, to commit ourselves to that covenant, that relationship with God. So we will love in the context of a brit, of a covenant, as we prepare to say the Shema and we bring together the four corners of our tzitzit in preparation. We're at the bottom of page 154.
והביאנו לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ, ותוליכנו קוממיות לארצנו, כי אל פועל ישועות אתה, ובנו בחרת מכל עם ולשון, וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול, לשמך הגדול, סלע באמת, והודות לך וליחדך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה.
We're excited to have with us this morning Aaron Zatz, who I think would have had his bar mitzvah this morning. So it's a celebratory morning that he's going to lead us in Shema. We're on page 155. Take it away, Aaron. Yeah, go ahead.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Ve'ahavta Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anuhi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartabam v'shivtecha b'vitecha Uvlechteha vaderech uvshochbeha uvkumeha ukshortam leo al yadeha v'hayula tosafo beineneha uchtavtam al mezuzo beiteha uvishareha.
We continue to ourselves at the top of page 156. Aaron will continue for us at the second paragraph on page 156, Vayomer.
Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael ve'amarta alehem ve'asu lahem tzitzit al kenfei vigdehem ledorotam v'natnu al tzitzit hakanaf patil tachelet lahaya lahem latzitzit uritem oto uzhartem et kol mitzvot Adonai ve'asitem otam velo taturu ahare levavchem ve'ahare enehem asher atem zonim acharechem leman tiskeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai vihitem kedoshim leelohim ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Beautiful job, Aaron. Thank you so much for leading us. We're continuing now on page 158 with Micha Mocha.
Yallai, lai, 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 yallai, lai, 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 yallai, lai, 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 yallai, yallai, mihi chamucha, ve'elim Adonai, mihi kamucha, nehedar v'kodesh, nora tehilot, osei feleh, nora tehilot, osei feleh. שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולי לשמך אספת הים נודו המליכו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד צור ישראל Kuba be'ezrat Yisrael Ufedechinu mecha Yehuda be'Yisrael Go aleinu Adonai tzivot shemo Kiddush Yisrael Baruch ata Adonai
We'll begin the Amida together on page 159.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות, ומביא גואל לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך חוזר ופוקד ומושיע ותגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ופוקד שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה, רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים וחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך נימית ומקיים ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני בחיי המתים.
לקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקתי שמתו בשמי מרום, ככתוב היה נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ואמר.
אקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך וכרז זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך על הארץ כבודו.
אז בקול רעש גדול אדיר וחזק משמיעים כל מיני זעים,
אז בקול רעש גדול אדיר וחזק משמיעים פה, אז בקול רעש גדול אדיר וחזק משמיעים פה, מתנסים לאומת סרפים, מתנסים לאומת סרפים, מתנסים לאומת סרפים, לאומתם ברוך יאמרו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו.
ממקומך מלכנו תביא ותמלוך עלינו כי מחכים אנחנו לך.
במקומך מלכנו תופיע, ותמלוך עלינו, ותמלוך עלינו, כי מחכים אנחנו לך. איי 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 מתי תמלוך בציון, בקרוב בימינו, בקרוב בימינו, לעולם ועד תשכון, תתקדש ותתקדש בתוך ירושלים עירך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, ולנצח נצחים. איי 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 ועינינו תראינו, תירנה מלכותך כדבר האמור בשירי עוזך על ידי דוד משיח צדקך על ידי דוד משיח צדקך ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור הללויה לדור ודור נגיד גודלך ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד כי המלך גדול וקדוש אתה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue the Amida to ourselves through page 166 in the Hebrew, in the English, or whatever prayers are in your heart.
אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, my God, my rock, and my redeemer, and my redeemer. Ya la 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 la. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
We continue now with Kaddish Alem, page 167.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ויאמר דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ובימיכון ובחייך בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבם מבורך, לעלם לעלמי הומיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ותאמר ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה, בריחו לעילה מן כל בכתה ושירתה ושבחתה ונחמתה, לאמרן בעלמא ויאמרו אמן. תתקבל צלותון ובטחון לכל בית ישראל, קודם ונשמע ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו amen.
As we turn to the Torah service, it's a little bit hard to imagine the sanctity of a Torah service without an ark, without actually taking out the Torah. I'm going to give you the benefit of the virtual background of the sanctuary to give you a feeling that we're about to transition into this moment of sharing words from the Torah. We're actually blessed to have two B'nai Mitzvah who are going to be reading Torah for us, Adam Gordon and Aaron Zatz, who we're going to have their B'nai Mitzvah at this time of year, but we're pushing it a little bit off, but they're sharing with us, and we're so blessed to have them. So as we turn to the words of Kimi Tzion with Hazan Mimi from the Torah, from Zion, does the Torah come? I just want you to imagine behind me us taking out the Torah, bringing it forward to share these words with everybody.
Kimi Tzion, Titzei Torah, Bar Adonai Yerushalayim. Kimi Tzion, Titzei Torah, Bar Adonai Yerushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah le'amo, Torah le'amo Yisrael. Baruch Shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael. Kidusha Toku Tzion, join with us. Bar Adonai Yerushalayim. Kimi Tzion, Titzei Torah, Bar Adonai Yerushalayim.
As the Israelites approach the promised land, they're getting worried about what awaits them there. So, as you might know, Moses sends 12 scouts to check it out and report back. And when they come back, 10 of the 12 scouts report that the people who live in the land are huge and powerful, and their cities are fortified, and our enemies live there. They say that we can't possibly attack them and conquer the land. They're too strong, too giant. And then they say something I think is very strange. They say, we looked like grasshoppers to ourselves, and so we must have looked to them. Now, we know from reading earlier in Leviticus that grasshoppers are the smallest edible creatures. So referring to themselves as grasshoppers meant that they were tiny, easily able to be devoured by their enemies. But the verse doesn't just tell us that these giant enemies saw them as puny grasshoppers. It actually tells us that they saw themselves as puny grasshoppers. The problem was that the Israelites, at least these 10 of the scouts, didn't believe in themselves. They were confronted with a situation and their self-doubt immediately kicked in. We're not big enough. We're not strong enough. We're not powerful enough, they thought to themselves. Saforno, who's a medieval Italian rabbi and commentator, teaches us about our verse, our grasshopper verse, that the 10 scouts felt like grasshoppers because the inhabitants of the land never tried to attack them. You'd think they were entering somebody else's land, they would be attacked, So the scouts thought to themselves, wow, they didn't even bother to harm us because they didn't think we really represented a threat to them. Sforno drives home this point that these 10 scouts made themselves less than. They didn't see themselves as full human beings, and so they became unworthy opponents, unworthy of being attacked. So I'd like you to take a moment and reflect on a question, and Hazan Stein is going to play a little bit in the background while you're reflecting. If you're watching with your family, take a moment and discuss, and if it's just you, take a moment for some self-reflection. When have you felt like a grasshopper? When have you counted yourself out, believed yourself to be not good enough? Take a moment. We'll continue now with our Torah reading, and we'll start with the blessing that we say when we read Torah and we study Torah together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Our first aliyah will be read by Auden Gordon. We are on page 840 if you have an Eitz Chaim Chumash, and otherwise we are at Numbers chapter 13, verse 1.
Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, shalach leha anashim, v'yatiru et eretz Canaan, asher ani noten lifnei Yisrael, ish ehad, lamate avotav tishlahu, kol nasivahem, vayishlach otam Moshe, Mimidbar param al pi Adonai, kulam anashim, Roshei b'nei Yisrael heima.
Yasher Koach, Auden. So despite the underconfidence of 10 of the scouts, we know that 2 of them, Caleb and Joshua, stand up and assert that the land is a wonderful place and the Israelites can successfully conquer it with God's help. The problem is that the Israelite people are already too afraid to enter the land based on the report from the other scouts. So because of this, only Caleb and Joshua and their descendants will earn shares of the land. The rest of the generation will die out in the wilderness before they can enter the promised land. Think about what it must have been like to have been Caleb and Joshua. Interestingly, if you look at what they actually said, they never disputed the content of the other scouts' reports, only their conclusions. They probably acknowledged what a great challenge it would be to conquer the land, of course, but they had confidence that the Israelites could do it. And then they needed even more confidence to be able to stand up to the majority and assert their opinion. We all know how challenging it can be to voice a minority opinion, especially on a matter as serious as this one. Put yourself in Caleb and Joshua's shoes for a moment. Reflect again with your family or to yourself, and Hazan Stein will play a little something for us as you have a minute to reflect. The question is, why is it so hard to speak up when you're in the minority? And when you've been in that situation, when you've been that person having a minority opinion that's so challenging to express, how could others around you have made you feel more comfortable expressing your opinion? Think about it. We'll continue now with the second aliyah that Auden Gordon will also read for us. If you are in the Eitz Chaim Chumash, we're still on page 840. Otherwise, we're in the book of Numbers, chapter 13, verse 4.
Va'ele shemotam l'matei Reuven Shamua ben Zakur l'matei Shimon Shaphat ben Korim l'matei Yehuda Kalev ben Yefuneh l'matei Yitzhar Yigal ben Yosef l'matei Ephraim Yoshia ben Nun l'matei Binyamin Palti ben Rafun, Lamate Zebulun, Gadiel ben Zodi, Lamate Yosef, Lamate Menashe, Gadi ben Zersis, Lamate Don, Amiel ben Gamali, Lamate Asher, Situr ben Mahael, Lamate Naphtali, Nachbi ben Vosi, Lamate God, Yoel ben Mahi, Eile Shemo et Hanashim, Asher Shalach Moshe Lator et Haaretz, Veikra Moshe, Leoshia Binun Yehoshua.
Yasher Koach, Auden, such a pleasure to see you. And I know you're going to read one more for us, but thinking about your bat mitzvah and just how prepared you were, and you're going to be even more prepared for the next one. We're going to celebrate together. We're going to transition to the Mishaberach prayer for healing, for strength. Many people in our community are in need of these prayers right now. Some are recovering from surgery, some dealing with cancer, all kinds of illnesses within our community, and some who are just in need of strength, frankly. And so we're going to join together, Chazan Mimi, with Mishaberach. And as we do so, I want you to think of the people who are in need of the prayers. And if it's for you, to feel those prayers internally, giving you strength, comfort, healing, to join together.
Mishaberach Avotenu B'kol habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
Time of prayer for strength and healing. We offer prayers for Naomi Bat Sarah, Elod Shayot, Beverly Bowie, Susan Stavis, Dina Bat Yocheved, Vivian Ezus, Chaim Ben Sarah, Rivka Bat Carmela Vidov, Tova Bat Chana, Chaya Gabriela Bat Galia, Leah Bat Abraham V'Sarah, Aaron Ben Aviva, David Ben Chaya, Tzvi Ben Ada, Malka Bat Charna, Sarah Bat Fruma, Rivka, David Joseph Ben Chaim, Velvo, Pesach, Nechama, Livia Bat Rachel, Miriam Bat Rivka V'Chana, Mordechai David Ben Margalit, Zissel Ben Goldi, Leah Naomi Bat Hadassah, Mordechai Ben Rivka Bat Sheva, Luma Bat Barbara, Fran Kopolnik, all those who are suffering from coronavirus, and of course, always our prayers to those people on the front lines, helping, no matter whether they're in hospitals, in mental health care, whether they're in supermarkets, all you who are out there making sure that society still runs. We pray for your healing and strength as well as we join together again.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah Shema, the renewal of body
We continue with our Torah reading, beginning Numbers chapter 13, verse 17. If you're in the Eitz Chaim Chumash, you'll find it 840 as Auden continue.
Vayishlach otam Moshe latur et Eretz Canaan, vayomer alehem, alu zeh ba'negev, va'alitem et ha'ar, uritem et ha'aretz mahi, v'et ha'am hayoshev aleha, hazaku harafeh, hamatu imrov, u'ma ha'aretz. Asher hu yoshev ba hatovahi imra'a u'ma ha'arim. Asher hu yoshev ba hena hab'machanim im b'mizarim u'ma ha'aretz hashmenahi imrazah. Hayishva eitz im ayin v'hid hazaktem Uchachtem miperi haaretz v'hayamin yemei bikurei anavim.
Yitkada v'yitkada shemei rabba v'yalmad divrach rutei v'yamlich lachutei v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael Bagala, bagala, uvizman karivi meru, amen. Yeheshme rabba mevarach, le'alam la me'amaya yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh, B'yid halal shemei kudusha berichu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'meru amen.
Continuing with the next aliyah, you're going to skip a couple of verses. Beginning chapter 14, verse 1. Aaron Zatsu as well was going to share with us his bar mitzvah, the Shabbat. He's going to read for us again, Numbers chapter 14. Right, Aaron, you'll have to make sure to unmute yourself, and then you can share. Is he there? There you go.
Vatisako ha'eda vayitenu et kolam vayivku ha'am balayla hahu vayilonu al Moshe v'al Aharon kol b'nei Yisrael vayomer alehem kol ha'eda lumanu be'eretz Mitzrayim o bamidbar hazeh lumanu Velama Adonai Meviotanu Al Haaretz Hazo Linpo Baherev Nashenu Betavhenu Yihu Lavaz Halo To Lanu Shuv Mitzrayma Vayomeru Ishalachin Nitena Rosh Venashuva Mitzrayma Vayimpo Moshe Ve'aharon al Pneihem Livnei Kol Kehalada B'nei Yisrael V'Hoshuav Binu V'Chalev Ben Yapune Min Hatarim Et Haaretz Kareu Bigdehem Vayomeru El Koladat B'nei Yisrael Le'mor Haaretz Asher Avar Nuva Latu Rota Tovi haaretz me'od me'od.
Yasher Koach. Nice to have you with us, Aaron. We'll look forward to your next one as well. All right. So Mazal Tov. Yeah, so this time during these revised services we've been doing, that we've tried in place of Haftarah to figure out other ways of sharing. Sometimes it is a Devar Tzedek that will deliver words of prophecy, if you will, and exhortation. Sometimes we've been interviewing, by the way, congregants who are doing amazing things in the community to help out, and Rabbi Galko has been leading those interviews. Today, I wanted to focus on Father's Day. We're celebrating Father's Day this weekend, so happy Father's Day to all of you fathers out there. I don't know if you know, Father's Day was celebrated the first time June 19th, 1910, in Spokane, Washington. And it was started by a woman, singularly, Sonora Smart Dodd, who wanted to acknowledge her father. Her father was a Civil War veteran, William Jackson Smart was his name, who was a single parent and who raised 6 children. And his daughter Sonora wanted him to be acknowledged. You see, because Mother's Day was already a big to-do in 1910. Mother's Day had been celebrated since the 1860s, believe it or not. Mother's Day began as a peace and reconciliation campaign after the Civil War. And during the 1860s, at the urging of an activist, a divided West Virginia town, one town began this by celebrating Mothers' Work Days. It brought together the mothers. You can imagine Virginia, right, which is divided by the Civil War, brought together mothers of Confederate and Union soldiers. Is that something? To try and heal as mothers those who had been lost during the war on different sides. It's an interesting message there. Mother's Day continued to grow as a national celebration, finally declared national holiday in 1914. The campaign to celebrate the nation's fathers, though, did not meet with the same enthusiasm as Mother's Day, right? Perhaps because, as one florist at the time said, quote, fathers haven't the same sentimental appeal that mothers have. Well, sorry about that, dads. During the 1920s and 30s, there's actually a movement to scrap Mother's Day and Father's Day altogether in favor of a single holiday, Parents' Day. That sound like a great idea? I'm not sure how many of the mothers out there might approve of that or not, or the fathers maybe even. Every year, though, on Mother's Day, for quite a while at that time, pro-Parents' Day groups rallied in New York City's Central Park with the idea, and their message was that both parents should be loved and respected together. Paradoxically, by the way, shortly thereafter, right, at the same time, the Great Depression derailed this effort of a combined holiday. Isn't that interesting? Why? Because struggling retailers were trying to double their efforts to make Father's Day a second Christmas. For men, promoting goods such as, here's the list I could find in the research: neckties, hats, socks, pipes and tobacco, golf clubs, and other sporting goods. When World War II began, advertisers began to argue that celebrating Father's Day was a way to honor American troops and support the war effort. By the end of the war, although not a federal holiday, it had become a national institution. Presidents from Wilson and Coolidge and Johnson all wrote in favor of the holiday, but none passed legislation ratifying the holiday. Finally, when does Father's Day get its rallying cry? In 1970, Congress passed a joint resolution. Oh my God, if that can only happen again. A joint resolution. You get that? They all agreed, which called on citizens to, quote, offer public and private expressions of such day to the abiding love and gratitude which they bear for their fathers. Who signed it into law? President Richard Nixon. He signed the resolution 2 years later. The fact is, in the midst of a contentious election, I won't say anything about the use of sometimes issues to gain favor for election time, but the timing is noted by historians as being significant. The biblical obligation to honor a father is well known. In the 10 Commandments, we're told, you shall honor your father and mother. In the book of Leviticus, though, we're taught, right, Ish Tiru, that a man shall revere et imo, his mother, vet aviv, and his father. The rabbis of the Talmud asked the question, what's the difference between honor and revere? And they designated for them very specific meanings. Honor means it must, the must give food, drink, and clothing, and cover your father, lead him in and lead him out. And what does revere mean, according to the rabbis? That a child must neither stand in his father's place, nor sit in his place, nor contradict his words, nor tip the scales against him. What does that mean? In essence, revere had come to mean that you shouldn't disrespect your parent, especially not in public. The rabbis eventually create a whole list of laws defining what it means to honor and revere parents. Now, what does it mean to be a parent? What are the obligations of a father to his child? And by the way, for the rabbis, essentially, you can imagine this was son, and so many of these relate to boys. So first, 5 things they describe in the Mishnah, and later interpreted further in the Talmud. A father's obligated to circumcise his son, redeem him if he's a firstborn son, pidyon haben. Some of you may remember that ceremony for firstborn boys. He's got to teach him Torah, which we learned from the words of the Shema, Veshinantam levanecha, you shall teach them to your children. 4 is to marry him off, and 5 is to teach him a trade. How do we get teaching a trade? Well, Rabbi Yishmael explained that when you look at the verse in Deuteronomy, uvacharta b'chayim, and choose life, it means you have to teach your son a trade. He has to be able to live. It's the only way that you can exist in society. Isn't something, the acknowledgement that you owe your children is giving them the tools necessary to succeed in life. And for that time, and maybe even today, it's about learning a trade. The Talmud adds another one. Some of you may know this. And it says, Yesh Omrim, some say, a father is also obligated to teach his son to swim. To swim? Like, where does that come from? So Rabbi Akiva adds that you have to teach swim. Why? Based on that same verse in Deuteronomy, uvacharta b'chayim, that you should choose life, that was for teaching a trade. And why? Because teaching swimming could actually literally save a life. Why? By the way, in the ancient time, it was bridges that would cross over bodies of water, rivers, and things like that. And bridges were very unreliable and shaky and often could break, and people could fall into the water. And so it was a mitzvah to teach your child how to swim. So should something happen, they'd be able to save their lives. And that's something. It's clear in Jewish tradition that the role of the parent is to direct their children, not only in spiritual direction, but also to help them live fulfilling and productive lives. On this Shabbat of Father's Day weekend, I want to finish my tribute to all the fathers out there. Not to diminish from your mothers or your mothers out there, because you had your own day, which, by the way, just want to say came first historically and comes first in the calendar. But I won't make anything out of that. As I was saying, I want to finish with a quote from a famous 15th century Portuguese rabbi who I love, rabbi named Abravanel, who wrote the following about the command to honor parents. Here's what he said. There are 2 reasons why we should honor our parents. First, because they have endowed us with talents and capacities which we can use to enhance our own lives. Second, by honoring our parents, we set an example for our own children to respect us. The benefit we derive, he writes, as a reward for our attentiveness to our parents will help us in our own lives. Isn't that something? There's a recognition that we need to think of our parents and the gifts they've given us. We didn't succeed on our own. By the way, sometimes we might succeed in spite of parents even, but the truth of the matter is, whether it's through genetics or other experiences, we are a part of that tradition. And so on this Father's Day, I just want to celebrate with all of you fathers and wish you a happy Father's Day. We're going to continue now with the blessing of a new month. And Tammuz, that is coming up, is a month, by the way, in which we have an American holiday. And you might hear the Chazan as he leads us in this prayer for a new month. You may recognize a little bit of a melody to remind us of what's happening in this month. Chazan Stein.
So you see a picture there, I hope, on the screen. Usually somebody in the synagogue is holding the Torah, and I thought this would be a lot of fun to see. And you'll notice, if you can, on the Torah, It says from the Pacific Southwest, and that's a Torah that I brought to the community in Africa in 2007, and I'm so glad that it's still in use and still there and being used, and I'm very pleased about that. And to recognize that Jews come in all colors. Yehi ratzon milfanecha, Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu, שתחדש עלינו את החודש הבא לטובה ולברכה, ותיתן לנו חיים ארוכים, חיים של שלום, חיים של טובה, וחיים של ברכה, חיים של פרנסה, חיים של חילוץ עצמות, חיים שיש בהם יראת שמיים ויראת חטא, חיים שאין בהם בושה וכלימה, חיים של אושר וכבוד, חיים שתבנו אהבת תורה ויראת שמיים, חיים שימלאו משאלות ליבנו לטובה, אמן סלם. מי שעשה ניסים לאבותינו וגאל אותם מעבדות לחירות, ויגאל אותנו בקרוב יקבץ נידחנו לארבע כנפות הארץ, חברים כל ישראל, ונאמר אמן. ראש חודש תמוז יהיה ביום שני וביום שלישי הבא, עלינו ועל כל ישראל לטובה. יחדשהו הקדוש ברוך הוא עלינו ועל כל בית ישראל לחיים ולשלום, אמן. לששון ולשמחה, אמן. ישועה ולנחמה, ונאמר amen.
In the new month of Tammuz that we are celebrating Monday and Tuesday, may that new month of Tammuz, in which we will acknowledge and celebrate the 4th of July, even though it will be a time of physical distancing, may we be reminded about that which ties us together, a country dedicated to values of equality and justice and freedom for all. May this 4th of July bring new meaning to what it means to stand together as a nation. And may we all have blessings for this month, and let us all say, Amen. We're going to turn now to the Ashrei, and I'm going to invite Ethan Hashem, who is working for Bar Mitzvah, and you're going to be shortly, and we're so grateful. And you're going to help along with Chazan Mimi. You're going to lead us in the Ashrei. So go ahead. It's your turn.
Hello, everyone. All right. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha, Odi Hallelujah, Selah.
Ashrei Ham Shekacha Lo, Ashrei Am Shadonai Elohav.
Tehillah LeDavid, Arom Mimcha Elohai HaMelech, V'avarcha Shimcha Leolam Va'ed.
B'chol yom avarchecha v'lala shimcha leolam va'ed.
Gadol Adonai Umhulal Meod, Ve'ligdulato Ein Cheker.
Dor ledor shabach ma'asecha ugrotecha yagidu.
Hadar Kevod Hodecha, V'divrei Niflotecha Asicha.
Be'ezuz nerotecha yomeru ugaladcha asaprena.
Zecher Rav Tuvcha Yabiu, V'tzidchatcha Yeranenu.
Chanun v'rachum Adonai erchapaim ugdal chased.
Tov Adonai Lachol, Rachamav Al Kol Ma'asav.
Yoducha Adonai kol ma'asecha v'chasidecha yevarchucha.
Kevod Malchutcha Yomeru, Ugvuratcha Yedaberu.
Lo di livnei hadam gevurotav uchvod hadar malchuto.
Malchutcha Malchut Kol Olamim, Umemshaltecha B'chol Dor Vador.
So mechadonai lechol hanoflim v'zokeif lechol hakvufim.
Ene Kol Elecha Yesaberu, Ve'ata Noten Lahem Et Ochlam Be'ito.
Poteach et yadecha umaspil lechol chai ratzon.
Sadik Adonai Bechol Derachav, Vechasid Bechol Ma'asav.
Karov Adonai lechol korav lechol asher yikruhu ve'emet.
Ratzon Yereyav Ya'aseh, Ve'et Shavatam Yishma Ve'oshiyem.
Shomer Adonai kol ahava ve'kol risha'im yashmid.
Tehillah Adonai Yetaber Pi, Vivarech Kol Basar Shem Kodsho Leolam Va'ed. Va'anachnu nevarech Yah, Me'ata ve'ad olam. Hallelujah.
Ethan, so
Great
proud
job,
of you.
Ethan.
So great to see you, Yasher Koach. We're looking forward to you continue to prepare for your bar mitzvah, give our best to your parents as well as we symbolically conclude the Torah service. Eitz Chaim Hi.
Eitz Chaim Hi, Amachazikicha, Betomchecha, Meushar, Dirachecha, Darchei Noam, Bechol netivotecha, Shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Aresh Yameinu kekedem.
At this point in the service, traditionally what is the Musaf service, whether you're praying the words of the prayer book, which you'll find pages 185 to page 192, or whether you just want a moment of reflection and breathing and rejuvenation and feeling the holiness of the day and of life itself, we invite you at this time to stand in whichever prayers you are engaging in, to direct your hearts and your souls. And Chazan Stein will play a little bit of music in the background to just help inspire our souls as well.
שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו, אמן. נעשה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו, אמן. Oy, yalla la 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 la, yalla la la la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la. Oh, say shalom roma, oh yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al Israel. ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו, אמן.
Kaddish Shalem, page 203.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי וחייכון ובימיכון וחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלל בזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבם מבורך, לעלם לעלמי עמיה, יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. בריחו לעילם מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. תתקבל צלותון ובודון על בית ישראל, גדול ושמיה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen.
We rise for Aleinu, page 205, and we have Auden Gordon back with us one more time to lead us.
Aleinu leshabeah l'adon hakol, la'tekedu la'liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye havratzot, velo samanu k'michbeo ta'adama, shelo sam helkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'ohamona, va'anachnu korim, umishachavim umodim, lifnei melech, Malkei Hamlahim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Noteh Shamayim V'Yoser Aretz, U'Moshav Yikaron B'Shamayim Imo, U'Shinatu Zo, V'Gorei Meromi, U'Eloheinu Einod, Emet Malkeinu Efezoto, Kakatu, V'Torato, V'Yartatayim, V'Yashebota, Elevaveha, Ki Adonai U'et Elohim, B'Shamayim Imo, V'Yoretz Midat, Einod. Kakatu B'Torataho, Adonai lo le'olam va'ed, v'ne'emor v'haya Adonai le'melech kol ha'aretz, v'yom ha'hu yed Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Yasher Koach Aden, feel good about everything?
Yeah, thank you.
Fabulous. Are your mom and dad there with you? Anybody there?
My mom.
It's, get on the camera there. Just say hello. It's such a pleasure to share, everybody.
Morning.
Morning. The magic of sharing with services, and such a pleasure. We're going to share some announcements. Those of you who are actually reciting Kaddish and would like to join us on the Zoom experience, you won't be seen on the screen, but you can have the sense of clergy and everybody joining together. This would be the time for you to log off the live stream, to log on to the Zoom, and that'll get you inside. During the Kaddish, other people that can come in actually at the end of the Kaddish, and you're going to join us, everybody, for our virtual gathering at the end. But let me just share some announcements with you. And for all of our online service people, just so nice to share Shabbat with you. Hopefully have your lunch ready so you can join that virtual Kiddush lunch. By the way, we have Rabbi Cheryl Peretz is back. She's going to be teaching today. It's called Breaking Down Barriers. If that is not an appropriate topic, it's a view from the Talmud. So she'll be looking at rabbinic tradition about breaking down barriers. Hope you'll stay in and to join us for that teaching. We also have, by the way, if you go online, you'll find a link to a mincha service, the bar mitzvah of Nathan Garrett. We're looking forward to celebrating with him. If you need connections to the outside world, by the way, we have programs that are going on online. Thursday mornings at 9:30, I have just a virtual coffee for people who want to just hang out for a little bit and figure out how to keep their days busy and just catch up and share what's going on. We have portion of the week classes, my Lunch and Learn on Thursdays, Rabbi Galko on Friday with Talmud. We have so much going on. aliyahlive.org is the best place for that resource. And by the way, if you're going online, you're going to see that we actually have a new website that was launched and looks different. Hopefully you'll catch on quickly in terms of negotiating it, but we're pleased and feedback is appreciated. We're grateful for all of those who are involved in helping make that happen. So let's take a deep breath and transition now into the Mourner's Kaddish, the time in which community, in which sanctifying life through the sanctity of community is how we bear out testimony to our loved ones. And on this particular Shabbat, we acknowledge the following individuals who shared life with us and for whom their lives are still very much part of ours in love and in deed. On this Shabbat, remember the yahrzeits of Avi Delavera, Jeffrey Feynman, Anna Goldberg, Pearl Lysell, David Rosen, Rhoda Shear, Barrick Dutkovitz, Philip Richmond, Charlotte Schlissman, Anna Langsam, Roberta Madnick, Frank Miller, Robert Myers, Ruth Ash, Kevin Geula, Milton Grossman, Maurice Gumbright, Zerubbabel Heifetz, Burton Horovitz, Irene Howard, Carol Lopata, Saul Taub, Seymour Cohn, Francis Granich, Jacob Gross, Joseph Clayman, Judith Richmond, Alice Rosenstein, Shirley Schwartz, Albert Sobel, Thelma Chernin, Edward Feinberg, Loretta Gottfried, Sylvia Honig, Lawson Hughes, Miriam Lehrman, Sandra Rhodes, Norman Schulman, Meyer Siegel, Paul Ash, Lillian Cohn, Bernice Friedman, David Gelman, Harry Goldfarb, Helen Goldman, Yuda Gutstein, Lou Hursk, Ruth Melworm, Ann Seekoff, Arnold Taub, and Elizabeth Rottenberg. We're also mindful of the bereavement, the passing a couple days ago of Pearl Perlman, mother of our own Pauline Houston, who works in our office and who is just fabulous, and our hearts go out to her at this time. For those reciting the Mourner's Kaddish, page 207, or any prayer book you're in, and if the name has not been mentioned, I just want you to mention aloud now the name of the individual that you're reciting Kaddish for. And may their memories be a blessing as we join together in the words of the Kaddish. Yit Gadal ve'yit Kadash Rabba. Amen. Yoma divrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei v'chol Beit Yisrael v'gala v'zman kariv v'meru. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam Umeo Maya. Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitpa'ar, Yitroman, Yitnaseh, Yitadar, Yitalev, Yitalal, Shemei Dekudesha, Brichu, Ela, Minkol, Birchata, Veshirata, Tushbechata, V'nechemata, Damiran, V'alma, V'meru, Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu, V'alkol Yisrael, Meru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu v'Alkol Yisrael, Meru, Amen. For all those of you reciting these words of the Kaddish, may their memories be a blessing. May God establish his peace in the heavens, grant peace and harmony for us, for all of Israel, and all of humanity, as we say, Amen. We're going to invite all of you now to join us. Those of you who wish to come on the Zoom, we'll still be on live stream for those of you who want to stay there, but we'll actually play a little video, I think, that we have that's going to help us, give us an inspiration for Shabbat, and we'll give you time to get in on Zoom for us. Here we go. That was very sweet. We're going to begin. We're going to continue with all of the prayers we have for the kiddush and motzi and everything else. And so we'll begin. Hazan Mimi will warm us up a little nigun, and then we'll go right into the shavru. Here we go.
La
לעשות את השבת בתורתם כברית עולם.
Al Kain Berach Adonai et Yom HaShabbat v'aykadshehu savri chaverai l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen. You gonna drink that wine, Rabbi Yako? There you go. All right, we're gonna do a Netilat Yadayim. Those of you who have, and I'm gonna wash my hands. Here we go. Over one hand, over the other. I'm gonna recite the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kisham v'sotav v'tzivanu al Netilat Yadayim. And now I have 2 chalot. All right, so hold on to these challahs here. Those of you who want to hold on, and we're going to recite the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. I'm going to put some salt on it. Shmuel, I'm sharing this one with you. I'm going to put everybody as we go out, put you all on gallery view. Here we go.
Shalom, Shabbat